Hello students, we are going to discuss today unit 3. In that we are having functions, arrays and strings. So first we'll see the definition of function, then we'll go sequentially. Functions, actually function is a subprogram, or we can uh, define a function as a program, subprogram to achieve a specific task or a goal. It is written basically for achieving a specific task. Like we want to perform some printing task, and that task is repeatedly called. A user needs a particular thing to be repeatedly carried out. So for the ease of user, what we'll do, we'll write a subprogram and we'll call from outside whenever we require, wherever we require, we call that subprogram just by its name. Then that subprogram will be executed and our task will be achieved. So basically a function, literally we define a function as a subprogram, or a function is a subprogram equal to perform a specific task. And after that we'll discuss the benefits of a function. Function provides modularity. What do you mean by modularity? Modularity means dividing a program into modules, subprograms. A module is nothing but a subprogram. Okay, so modularity can be achieved with the help of functions. And why we are having modularity? Because a function, whenever we use a function, the basic and the potential use of function is when we write a large number of lines in a program. So what happens if there is some sort of bug or error? If there is an error, so we have to rectify that error, we have to find out that error. So for finding out that error, it will be difficult when we do not use a function. So when we use a function, we are dividing that particular code, large number of lines of code into sub programs. So we can directly go to that particular sub program where the error has been occurred. So here the benefit is, in large programs, debugging and editing task is easy with the use of functions. And one more thing we have left over here is reusable code. What do you mean by reusing? As I told you before, we can reuse the code whenever we require, when the user needs that particular thing. So what we'll do, just by the name of the function, we'll call that particular function, and we can use that particular code as many times as we require. There is no limit that this much number of times you can call that particular function. No, we can use it number of time, n number of time we can use. And after that, the last point of benefit is the program can be modularized into small parts. As we know with the simple definition, that modularization is, what do you mean by modularization, is dividing the code into subprogram, subcode. Okay, so now after that separate function independently can be developed according to the need. This is also a very simple point which we can understand. And after that we are having parts of function. So we will have three parts, like function prototype will be there, function call will be there, function definition will be there. So we'll discuss one by one. So hope you know what is a function. Now you can define the function in your own words, and you know the benefits of a function. And after that we'll discuss the parts of a function one by one. So in that, first thing is prototype of a function, then function call, then after that last thing is function definition. Right? So we'll discuss prototype of a function. What do you mean by prototype? prototype means declaration of a function. It is a rule what this function is going to return, what values the function is going to return, and what this function is going to do. What type of function is it? So we'll discuss prototype of function, how we are going to write the syntax of a prototype. So syntax will be given. Syntax means the general rule, the procedure to write a prototype. So it is nothing but the declaration of a function like return type, number of arguments, function a function is going to carry, so now, so what do you mean by return type here? The return type, will write the syntax here, return type, then comes the function name, then in this brackets we are going to write the arguments. Argument 1, argument 2, and so on. So here return type means the function, whether the function is integer type or a float type, okay, or a double type, because the function always can be an integer or a float or a double. It can't be a character, because the data type contains 4 primitive data types: integer, character, double, and float. So now here integer, the function, if we are going to have an integer type, return type of a function, we need to write here int, and after that whatever name you are selecting as per your function, so you are going to put up that name here, int name. Then arguments means what are the parameters you are going to pass into the function. For a parameters is nothing but it is same like variables, what variables you are going to pass here, and that too we have to mention here also what type of variables you are going to pass in this function, whether that variables are integer or float or double. Okay, so is it clear? So now the prototype, basically it is a rule of declaring a function. What is the rule of declaring a function? We need to have a return type, function name, arguments, okay, and arguments can have a data type also. So after this we'll go forward. When we have the prototype of function, this prototype is written before main, or we can write inside main also, or in another function also we can write the prototype. It is not necessary that it should be written before main or inside main, because whenever we are merging some functions, we can have this prototype written there also. After this we will go for function call. Function call, it means that whenever we have declared a function and we are having a definition of a function, definition means the task which the function should carry, the function what it is meant for, what particular basic thing it should do. That for example, there are so many built-in functions, like we have one more topic I want to discuss here in between. We'll discuss further in detail, but just for a glance we'll write here types of functions. Here we are having two types. One is built-in functions, or we can say it as library functions also, and the other is user defined functions. Right? So user defined functions, like built-in functions which we know, like printf, scanf, and getcr, getch, getcra, and char. All these functions are known as built-in functions. Why we are saying built-in function? Because these particular functions functionality has been already written by the developer of C, and their prototype and their definition has been stored in library, the folder called library. It is stored there. Whenever this function is written in our code, that means that this function call has been made, a function call has been made. Indirectly, whenever the function call is made, the control is transferred to the function definition. The compiler checks whether this function prototype is there, function definition is there. So as per the task written in the function definition, it will perform that particular functionality. For now, it is enough for this thing. Now we'll go back to our function call. So hope you understood what is a function call. Here what we are doing, we have to write a syntax like this inside main or in any other part of the program. So we'll write same thing. If we are going to call this particular function by some name, we have to mention the function name here.